Welcome to Flam Flam Sports. My name is Richard Harris. And let's talk sports. Welcome to Flam Flam Sports. My name is Richard Harris. A week ago, Scottie Pippen was on the Dan Patrick Show talking to one of Dan Patrick's producers, Paulie Prowse. And Paulie was asking him questions. Or Paulie Paps, excuse me. And basically the question came out that does Scottie Pippen believe that the 96 Bulls would beat Golden State? Scottie Pippen said, and I quote, "We would sweep them." And I watched every show after that because I'm like, come on. Of course he's going to say that. You know, veteran players always say that to, this generation, that generation, blah, blah, blah. And so I was kind of shocked that every sports talk show took this discussion and took it national. I didn't, because in my mind, I feel that it's a dumb discussion. Because you can't compare generation. Basketball is different. Today the rules are different. And anyone who truly knows something about basketball, who truly can be objective about this topic, would say something and that it would discredit this generation as fools. And I watched ESPN and they had the very attractive Prim, I can't pronounce the last name, she was hosting a show. And she basically was like, everybody kept saying the same thing. In this generation, Golden State would beat the Bulls. And I just laugh. Because in Michael Jordan's day, you were hand checking. You're allowed to hand check. You're allowed to put your hands on people. Allowed to bump people if they went through the court or whatever. And the bottom line is, this generation, no one can touch you. And the Bulls team that year, to my knowledge, I don't recall them losing to teams with horrible records. This Golden State team lost to the Lakers, who have one of the 3 worst records in the league. They've lost to Minnesota, who's one of the worst records in the league. The Bulls never had lapses like this. And I heard Stephen A. almost say it the other day. They had lapses in games and just not against bad teams like this. I just think that it's crazy to think that it's like the comparisons with Tiger Woods and Jordan Spieth they started to do last year, comparing, at that age when Jordan Spieth was winning tournaments and doing well at majors and so on and so forth. You can't compare the greatest player on his team against a good player in this generation, or the greatest player against players that haven't accomplished anything over any extended period of time. I mean, look at Jordan Spieth now. He won the first tournament of the year, and since then he's played the worst golf of his life. And I'm sorry, Steph Curry is a great shooter. Is he the greatest shooter in the history of the game? In my opinion, no. He can just shoot the ball. You can't call anybody the greatest shooter you've ever seen. He just makes shots. You got to do it over an 82-game season. I mean, what happens if Golden State goes to the playoffs in the first round and gets swept by Utah, or gets beaten by Dallas or Houston in the first round in a 7-game series, or whatever it is? What are they going to say about this season? This team is so flawed. They said a statistic the other day that Golden State is the 20th ranked defense in the league. And that of the teams that are qualifying for the playoffs, they are the worst defensive team qualifying for the playoffs. That's crazy. And they yet got 69 wins. Because they could shoot. And the other thing that was proven tonight was something I said that people gave me crazy looks for, is LeBron James is a great player. But he's not anywhere near the quality of Kobe or Jordan or even Vince Carter. In the respect that he can't get his own shot. Andrew Wiggins tonight got his shot when he wanted to. He squared up whoever guarded him, spin move in the lane, layup every time. 32 points. That's what I mean about getting your own shot. That you can take the ball at the top of the circle, 1-on-5 if necessary, and score. LeBron can't do it like he used to. And that even goes to the point about who in the world on Golden State would guard Michael Jordan? If you got your best defensive player and Andre Iguodala on Andrew Wiggins, who is just going right down the middle on him every time, getting fouls on everybody who tried to help out, who in the world is going to stop Michael Jordan at the rim? Who jumps higher than Wiggins? Explain that to me. The key to beating Golden State is you have to compete. You have to want to compete. You can't get discouraged, demoralized. You have to take the challenge. The key isn't Steph Curry. The key is Klay Thompson. And it's been proven fact that Steph the other day had 38 points against Portland. But so did Lillard, so it got washed away. Draymond Green, I think, had a triple-double, which made up the difference. And that's how you have to beat this team. You have to say, okay, he's going to get his, and Steph's going to get his. And then after that, what happens is who shuts down the rest of the team. And if you can shut down the rest of the team, you can beat Golden State. And that's exactly what Boston did the other day. That's what happened tonight. Steph wasn't on. He still, got a bunch of points, a lot of assists. But when push came to shove, he couldn't turn it on in the fourth quarter. And it begs to ask the question. The NBA is an 82-game grind. Some teams are game for the challenge. Some teams want to play. Jimmy Butler said, give me Steph Curry, I'll guard him. Some teams have players on them that want to take that challenge on. And then the NBA has teams that are like, look, it's the middle of February, we in Oakland. All I'm thinking about is going to the club. Thinking about going to this person's party afterwards. I don't care if we win or lose. And you get bad games. Or you get a team like Memphis early in the season. We're not 100% healthy. You get blown up by 50 points. I mean, it's an attitude. Sports is an attitude. And when you watch Connecticut's women's team tonight, the season they've had, it's an attitude. It's want to. Someone said to me when I first had my child, and I was an older father, I'm 41 when I had her, and they're like, you seem to really like being a father. It's because I want to be a father. I want to be for her what she needs me to be. And sometimes the NBA is effort. That's what ticked off Oscar Robertson and Isaiah Thomas so much, is effort. They're like, teams are playing Golden State and not giving the effort. People pay hundreds of dollars for tickets, but their team isn't playing hard. And now we're at crunch time. We got 4 games left of the regular season. No more talk about the Bulls. Leave the Bulls alone. That was a different era. It has the greatest player that we've ever seen play. He was a great defender, great fast break, great shooter, great scorer. He was just a great all-around player. And that's why he's voted the greatest player of all time. They don't give it to Wilt or Russell because they were bigger than everybody. And basically, there's no challenge if you're bigger than everybody. But when you're the same height as everybody and you're embarrassing everybody, big, little, small, tall, skinny, home, road, that's what made him the greatest. When Steph Curry had a horrible game. People are saying that they're tired, because they are tired. It's hard to win 69 games. It's hard to travel around this country and play basketball well. I love playing in basketball tournaments everywhere. I used to love playing in other gyms. Didn't matter to me. But it's hard. And now Golden State has got 2 with the Spurs, and I think they got 2 with Memphis. To decide whether or not they really want to go after this record. The Spurs don't care about it. The Spurs actually know they play the Spurs Thursday. I think they play them this weekend. The Spurs don't care. There is a formula to beating Golden State. And the teams in their previous rounds are going to show that. In fact, there's a chance that they might even play Golden State at all in the playoffs. So why worry about them? Because now the Clippers got Blake Griffin back. They're going to be more efficient offensively. As evidenced by the 2 games that he's back, they've blown out their opponents when he's been on the floor. And when he's off the floor, they're not as good. But no more Bulls comparisons. Scottie, Michael, Rodman, Kerr, Longley. Let them have their place in history. And even if the Golden State wins all 4 of these games and breaks the Bulls' record, they're still not the greatest regular season team. They just have the best record, which will put them, give them a qualification for it. But it's the eyeball test. To lose to Minnesota, to lose to the Lakers by 18, to have to go to overtime to beat New Jersey and Milwaukee. Bad teams. They should have lost to Utah the other night, but they didn't, to their credit. They just match up well with some of the better teams. They match up well with the Clippers. They match up well with Memphis and Oklahoma City. They match up well because it's offensive games, and so offensive teams score. But to lose at home, I'm sorry. It leaves a very, very bad taste in my mouth. Very bad taste in my mouth. But that's just one man's opinion.